I see the Padawan needs one last lesson.
Imagine if an SJW got a hold of this stream right now. Oh my, we would be blacklisted.
We're canceled. We're canceled.
Of course, yeah. If Kenobi's a jumbled mess like that, a lot of fans are. It's not going to be good.
The guy with the guy in the cloak with the hood. You know that.
Again, a lot of people, a lot of people are really mad about that, man. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the late night featuring Moff Rissman and Nicky. It's been a long time since we've had the crew together. I don't know why I'm nervous. We got the gang back together. This is going to be toxic. It's going to be horrible. It's going to be amazing. Moff Rissman is drunk out of his mind. Welcome. What's up, buddy?
What's happening?
And of course,
Nicky,
I was trying to catch up to that.
as she chokes on her Bacardi. Our diversity hire, Nicky is here. What's up, everybody? How you guys doing tonight? You ready for this?
Awesome. Doing great.
I literally set this shit up last minute because I just moved. So if anything falls while we're streaming, just ignore it.
Do you have Empire Strikes Back stacked on top of Harry Potter books?
Yep. It's a big mix back here. Yeah.
I love it. It looks good. What's up to the chat? Hello, everybody. I see all of you here. My God, look at all these beautiful people. We even got Echo Base in here. What's up, Echo Base? Gatekeepers Daimyo, Beskar Man, Bill Tackett, Kings Advisors, Brian W, Moni G, Matt Rissman. What's up?
What's up? I'm here.
Okay, he caught it. I was thinking maybe he might miss that. Nathan Emmert is here. Brandon Alvarado, JD636, who just sent me a bunch of vintage figures, by the way. Thank you so much, JD, for that. I love them. They're actually the speeder bikes right there. It's already in the background. I love it. Dat Boy Steve, Darcipio, Ted's Nerd World is here. Brian W. I'm scrolling as fast as I can. Roland New, Leia Rhodes, Rebel Cocho Dragon. Hello. Channel Starface. I think that's all
Star Fox
at the beginning.
His name is
Channel
Star Fox, not
Channel
Star
Fox.
Starface.
Beskar Man 38. There we go. Beskar Man says Bacardis are for tourists. Don's the way.
And Cubans, all right? Give me a You get the cheap stuff.
Daisy Blossom Flower Child is here as well. Good to see you. Good to see you. Bill Tackett, good to see you. Dr. Mafia is here. Hello. All right. Let's get started on the shit, man. It's been too long since we've seen each other. What have you been doing?
Who?
Any of you?
Nothing. I've moved. I don't know. That's
Incredible. Love it.
I've moved and I've been depressed about Star Wars, which is nothing new. How's that for
I gotcha. Okay, that's awesome. Yeah. Sounds like my situation.
I went
Rissman?
overseas and I went to Celebration and came back and did all kinds of great things. So
Yeah, Matt's been living the life.
yeah, man. You know?
Aaron Atlas says, I'm bored and half drunk and the Echo Base stream ended, so screw it. I'll watch X-Wing. Well,
It's a good
Yeah.
point.
kind of a sympathy view, but I guess I'll take it.
Yeah.
What can I do? John Kakos is in the chat.
Oh no,
X-Wing
he's gonna be
chat, driving back from
Hey,
Vegas now.
He's gonna be there with his
whiteboard.
whiteboard. He's taking notes.
Yeah, so I went down to Vegas for the J&G meetup, and I stepped outside because I can't deal with a bunch of humans in one place. And I stepped outside and I hear a guy talking. He's interviewing somebody behind a camera, and I look and I'm like, "That's fucking John. That's fucking John right there." So I like walked over and I waited until there was a break, and I said, "Where's the whiteboard?" And he turns around and he's like, "Hey, man." He tried to get me into a G&G documentary. I wasn't gonna do it though. Oh, it was a Friday Night Tights documentary. That's what it was.
You were drunk out of your mind.
Yeah, he was very drunk. He was very.
I was not drunk yet when I talked to John. After that, I was definitely super drunk. Yes, absolutely. I was doing my best. And then I had to get on a plane and fly back home. All right, so let's talk a little bit of Star Wars, kids.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Felicity.
Love you, Felicity.
Nice. Good to see you, girl.
She's been on this channel more than you have lately.
Shut
Proud
up.
to be a pity fuck. So
Felicity,
sad.
you don't understand. You see, but you don't understand. Whatever. Keep going.
What are you talking about?
That's all right.
That was like a poem.
Yeah. Keep going.
You understand, but you don't understand.
What the hell is even that?
All right. Let's talk about a little bit of Star Wars. Okay.
I see you, but I don't hear you. Keep going. Keep going.
What?
This is not gonna work. There's no way this is gonna work. I'm
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Okay. So I don't even know if I feel like maybe we should have just kept going with what we were doing there. Damon Lindelof says he was asked to leave his Star Wars project. I legitimately, I'm kind of upset about this one, that he got booted off, because I love Peaky Blinders just so much. I freaking love that show. And so I'm a little confused as to why they would have asked him to leave, because in the interview he pops in and he's like, I didn't get to the gate and then they turned me away. He said I was in and then they basically asked me to leave. Is there any speculation as to why that would have happened?
Is it true that he was going to make a Rey Skywalker granny movie?
Yeah, it was going to be Rissman, what's her name?
Helen Mirren.
Helen Mirren. Yeah. The hottest old British chick in the world.
But that's really old. Good Lord. I mean, I love her.
Well, yeah, it was supposed to be
That's
her.
going to be like
towards...
Jocasta Nu with a fucking lightsaber.
They were going to do it. It was going to be 60 years later. And they're like, they can't do that.
Yeah, why?
So then, whatever. I guess that's the only story he wanted to tell. And they said, well, we got Daisy back, so bye. That's
well, I would have been happy if it was, because I think what it was basically she was going to be about to die. She's like at the end of her life, and then she's training 2 other Jedi that are going to take over as like the Knights of Skywalker or whatever the case was.
Cringe.
I would have been into that. I could have watched that. Obviously, I don't want to see Rey back, but
I would have loved for it to have been Helen Mirren. By the way, that would have been very okay.
That would have been, it would have been very interesting, because that's like the last person I would expect to want to do a Star Wars movie. But
dude, Helen Mirren out of everyone,
I guess he understood that people don't really like Rey, so he's like, "Look, I'm gonna solve your problem. Get rid of her. I'm gonna take her out back."
But the guy who wrote fucking Peaky Blinders, like, holy shit, Peaky Blinders is incredible.
Am I misremembering? Did he do the Watchmen, the HBO series?
Watchmen, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I know people don't like it, but to me, it was like one of the few very like woke shows that I thought was okay. I haven't seen Peaky Blinders.
Was HBO Watchmen woke?
HBO Watchmen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, how so? What was it?
Really considered woke.
The next blue guy was going to be Regina King, a black woman.
Yeah.
What's his name? Sorry, I know.
Dr. Manhattan.
Yes, Dr. Manhattan.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But
I didn't watch it.
The thing about this whole story for me is Lindelof is clearly a fan, because he was like, right. I was asked to leave. It didn't work out. And they were like, well, are you done with it? He's like, nah. He was like, I want to get back in the door. He was like, I'll get back in line and I'll try again.
And that takes a lot of time. When you do Star Wars, you're dedicating a huge chunk of your career. If you do it right, of course.
Good gracious, right? He's like, it didn't work out. I was asked to leave, but I'm not done with it. I'll be back again.
So what do you think the reasoning for kicking him off the project could be?
They brought Daisy back. I have a feeling that they didn't know she was going to come back for sure until recently, and his movie obviously doesn't have her in it. So
they didn't know
she was a contingency plan.
They didn't know she was coming back until approximately 3 weeks before Celebration.
Why did you say that name?
So there was a confluence of events that just kind of lined up when all this happened. It was 3 to now it's more than that, but 3 weeks before the beginning of April, where all this shook out.
Yeah. Do you know anything about Charmin Obaid-Chinoy?
Yeah, she was Miss Marvel. She was Miss Marvel person.
Oh.
There's a video floating around her talking about what she's gonna do with the movie, and it's all about the women. So
that seems to be absolutely like the direction they're going. I mean, when we got all the announcements from Star Wars Celebration, everything that we're gonna be getting over the next basically 5 to 6 years, I would assume, because movies take for fucking ever. It is absolutely female protagonists, front and center the whole time, which is, I don't think that's a problem, but kinda.
It's just annoying. It's just, they keep shoving it in your face. To me, it's strange because I'm not stupid. I know Rey has fans. Like, she's not without her fans, but I don't know. It's like a mix of KK just not paying attention. I don't think she's so out of the loop. It's so weird to me. It's like she comes out and she's like a bot. She's like Jimmy Fallon. Like, there's no soul in there. They just come out.
Daisy Ridley?
No, I'm talking about KK.
Oh, yeah. KK. Oh, fuck yeah! Don't even get me started on that, dude.
The problem again is, as always, it should be story first, and then characters second, right? So it's like, what are the story we're telling? And then who do we need to act out this story? And what we get again is, we'll get an actor or two signed, and then we'll figure out the rest of the story, once we have them. It's like, it's so backwards. It's like the story first. Characters come after that. It should be, I think, right?
Maybe, I'm sure part of that is that they're betting that the controversy with her will also sell. And it'll also make it more like talked about. I'm gonna be real.
Makes a triumphant return to Star Wars after haters blasted her. That bullshit.
Here's the thing. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna go see it, but I'm gonna pay for another movie. Like, I have to see this.
Oh!
Are you kidding me? I'm paying for any other movie that's in the theater, and then I'm gonna go see this one. So.
Yeah, 100%. Same thing. Hopefully Mario's still in theaters 4 years later, and I can just pay for Mario tickets.
I'm still here.
It's a me.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen it. I watched
Mario
it in Spanish.
So good. Peaches.
You watched it in Spanish, you dumbass. What do you know about Spanish?
Yo hablo un poquito.
Cállate la boca. You need to go to the freaking movie theater.
Oh my god.
Ya está un gringo, perro.
Why does every gringo have to talk like a Mexican when they start speaking Spanish? It never fails. Good Lord.
Because I live right next to California. That's how everybody talks.
Because he lives in Nevada.
Darcy Pia says, X-Wing, I don't think the Rey flick will not be made because the movie will lose money, bottom line.
Dude, they have to do that movie. Even if they recycle 20 directors, that movie's coming out.
That's what I think. And it's just like, what did that guy say in the EBN stream? I'm trying to remember who it was that said it, but it was such a good line, is that they're doing the radio thing. They're going to play. How many times has there been a song on the radio that you hate, and 6 months later, you know every fucking word to that song?
That stupid Sam Smith stupid ass song.
Right?
It's everywhere.
A body shop or, yeah.
Some demonic ass shit. Yes.
Oh my god.
Fucking hate it, but I know every single word because they just play that shit over and over and over again, and I think that's exactly what they're doing.
And that's why I don't even listen to the radio. It's like the stores, wherever you go, it's just there somewhere in the fucking background.
It's become the new elevator music. You know what I mean? It's like always there.
I don't know if I can get as crazy as to be like, this satanic motherfucker is
Have you
trying
seen
to
his
bang my
freaking
children, but
Grammy performance that he did? That
yeah,
shit
he was
horrible.
literally wearing like fucking devil horns and
He
shit.
was like a
but...
fat sausage, 9-binary devil. I'm gonna shut up.
Oh, yeah. You know what? We're talking about Star Wars.
All right. Sorry.
I mean, you're not wrong, but we're talking about Star Wars here. So yeah, I don't know. I just, and I've had this conversation. This is something I talked to one of your favorite people, Nicky, the other day about, the way that Lucasfilm is viewing what's going on. And we had a conversation about this last night, actually, in the Discord, in the VC. We were talking about, what does Lucasfilm really think is going on? And when I tell you that, like, the answers that I got really prove how detached they are, it's that there's this movement to, like, we need to get everything digitized. People aren't buying action figures. People aren't buying lightsabers. We need to move to digital assets. People love Galaxy Heroes, the mobile game. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Disney Emoji Blitz.
It doesn't make sense to me. And there's this conversation that has to be had. And this is something I tweeted out. I've been making no fans on Twitter, by the way, recently. That there's this complete disconnect between the fan bases that these companies have purchased and the fan bases themselves. Because that's what happened. You spend $4 billion and you buy a fan base. And when you buy that fan base, it's almost like planting a seed or buying, I should say, like a seeded plant. What do? Like, you try to feed the plant that's existing. You don't throw a fucking palm tree in with the plant that's already there and say, this is your life now. Fucking enjoy it. Like, no, feed the plant that's already there. It doesn't make any fucking sense to me. But that's what's happening. I don't know. I'm really bad at allegories sometimes. So if I'm just like way off the cuff,
I was going to say, so like, what's your question?
No,
why are they doing it?
No, they bought a product, right? Disney bought a product. The product was Star Wars, and they don't know anything about it. They bought a brand. They bought the product.
The name sells,
and they expected it to, for the most part, sustain itself. And so now here we are. With the online and the Disney Plus and all the rest of it, and
Disney Plus, the killer of Lucasfilm and the MCU.
For some folks, it hasn't sustained as well as they expected. So, but they don't understand. They don't understand Star Wars. They bought a product.
It's so strange. Me can't figure out why me don't make no money.
Like, you'd probably sound like a better Sebastian than the new Ariel.
Just so this is the thing that I pulled up with Felicity. Like, just talk to a fan. Talk to a fan who's been like, I would be considered a newer fan, right? Because I wasn't around until the prequels came out. I would be considered a newer fan. But you look at what's going on in the parks, you look at what they're releasing, and it's like, where are the past fucking 40 years of storytelling? It's like it's refused. It is mind-boggling.
They just go online and they think that that's
wow.
Boy. He's lucky he can get away with that shit.
The secretary. Gosh.
I have a secretary?
Do you have a secretary? Who is it? Is that Nicky?
Is she hot?
I don't know if he's talking about me or it's because you're a big shot now, so you probably have one. It could be either one.
No, I mean you're a girl, so you should be the secretary, right?
I can't afford I can't afford
a girl.
Not to mention a secretary.
No, she's a secretary because she's a girl. So it's probably Nicky.
I thought you were a witch.
I'm whatever people say I am. Like Eminem. I'm Eminem in this bitch.
Oh no.
Yeah,
beautiful.
see, I was right. It's because you're a big shot now. See?
Yeah.
How does everybody keep saying I'm a big shot?
He hates you. Knights of Melvin, he does hate you legitimately because you're a big shot.
Okay.
Matt, go drink some water.
Aaron Ratliff says Iger screwed Disney. He got greedy when he saw how much Netflix was making and thought Disney could do the same. I think Iger thought he could basically just replicate Marvel. I don't know that they really understood the beast that is Star Wars because it's just fucking not Marvel.
Very true.
Star Wars, I feel like, even though George, I know he wanted to do a show, but it's meant for the big screen. Like, I've said this about the MCU as well. Like,
Me neither.
Everybody will now.
But there's such a huge. Again, I feel like just beating the dead horse, but there's a huge difference between Marvel and Kevin Feige and all of his knowledge and past experience and everything that's happened to him as he rose up to become where he's at, versus on the Star Wars side, we're just kind of limping along, and then Filoni is like, oh, what about you? You've been around. It's like, okay, oh, I'm here still. But it's not the same. It's not the same thing. If you think about the whole Feige business, and now the Filoni.
Ever since Feige went, like, isn't he a vegan now? The minute he turned vegan, he went stupid. That's my opinion.
What the fuck? Is he really?
I think so. I don't know.
Whatever Feige does or doesn't like in his diet, all I'm saying is he had a huge comeuppance, from a progression perspective, in being the movie maker, and then everything else for rising to the top of that studio. And then on the other side, we've got, Filoni kind of like, well, I could do it. I mean, I could help. I'm kind of.
Oh my god, I can't see that fucker talk anymore, bro.
But you know what I'm saying? It's not at all the same thing.
Did we miss the super chat? We totally missed the super chat. I apologize. Star Wars Dog for $2. Congrats on 7K. Yes, thank you. We surpassed 7K. Please don't tell the wife about this.
Congratulations.
I swear to Bob, I'm not going to say a fucking word, but we should dance a little bit. Love seeing those X-Wings in the chat, baby.
All right.
Yeah.
What's next?
Moving on. Yeah.
But seriously, congratulations over 7K. Dude, it feels like just yesterday you hit 1K. Do you remember that, Matt?
It's because it was like literally fucking yesterday. I was at 1,200.
Almost 2 years ago.
I was at 1,200 for like a year, and then all of a sudden it was just like, yeet! And it started going. So
it was like, what?
Yeah. And it was like, you're a big shot now. I'm like, I didn't fucking do anything. All right,
well,
let me share this screen here.
But okay.
Oh god, now I'm really gonna be angry.
Yeah, let's go, baby.
Oh, there's Nicky's guy.
Thrawn coming back in Ahsoka. I want to talk about this a little bit because there are so many people right now that are like, dude, they're gonna vote.
That's me.
Gonna do.
Is that how
they're gonna do Heir of the Empire? I staunchly disagree. Staunchly. Like, I don't know how else I can say that this is not going to go the way you think. There's no way that they do Heir to the Empire. And this is something that you guys touched on in Echo Base Network, is that they're saying, oh, they're totally doing Heir to the Empire. All you EU fans are going to be so stoked. I don't know how they're going to work Luke into the Ahsoka story for Heir to the Empire and try to make this actually happen. Impossible.
No, Luke. There's going to be... the fact that you think Luke needs to be there is the first problem. No, Luke.
Well, Heir to the Empire is his story.
Yeah, but when has that ever fucking mattered? When has that ever mattered?
It's going to be Luke adjacent.
To me? Forever.
Bro, here's my problem with this show. I feel like a broken record. I've said this a million times. It's the one show that will mess with past, current, and future canon, right? And it's like, I love Lars as Thrawn. I don't like Rebels Thrawn, but I feel like in the right hands, he could be one of the greatest characters of all time. But in the 100%. wrong hands, he's gonna be this. And
well, I mean, he's in Filoni's hands. So
my problem,
the right hands or the wrong hands? I mean, he's in Filoni's hands.
Dave Formuloni. This motherfucker does the same thing.
Formuloni?
That's Dave Formuloni.
Ravioli give you.
Yes, that's exactly where I got it from. My worry is that they're gonna make him a villain, and he wasn't really like a villain in the EU. Like
No.
So that's what they're trying to do with it. Maybe they'll bring in the stupid Gris, which is a rip off of the freaking Yuzhan Vong. But to me, this is just a way to self-insert Ahsoka into every single thing while also excusing why she wasn't present anywhere else. It's gonna be very triggering.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough, man. I mean, the bottom line is just bringing. They shouldn't have brought Thrawn into Rebels, I think personally, but
the
he's
most
here.
Intellectual, badass villain in the EU, and you put him in a Disney XD show, motherfucker.
I mean, the guy outsmarted and outfought Luke fucking Skywalker. Like, this is a Darth Vader, Emperor Palpatine level threat. In fact, he outsmarts Emperor Palpatine. So this is an Emperor Palpatine level threat. And like, just to try to bring him down to a level where he makes sense for characters like Ahsoka and the Rebels and shit, like, you have to downgrade him. And so I think from the beginning, it's kind of a fucking bad idea. You know what I mean? Breezy says, Nicky is hella hot. That is all.
Oh my.
Thanks, bro. I suck at compliments.
Shake it for him, Nicky. Shake it.
I shaked it. You just couldn't see it.
I know. That's why I put the video over the
screen. Perfect. Thank you.
But yeah, did it for you.
Thank you.
Ryan Kinnell. Ahsoka's going to replace Luke. Please don't.
She is all the Skywalkers. That's basically what's going to happen. I mean, I feel like Luke has a chance to show up just to make his stupid little 2-second cameo. Matt, I'll bet you money on this shit, bro.
So if Luke does show up, it's going to pay out the how did they meet for the first time. Luke is not going to show up.
Which, fuck that, because let me tell you something. In Book of Boba Fett, when Ahsoka and Luke were on screen, that pissed me off to no end because I wanted to see them meet for the first time. I don't give a fuck if they show it now. It is too late. You ruined it. I've already seen them together.
Yeah, they blew
listen to me. Hold up. Before season 2 started, Mandalorian, I'm like, the one thing I want to see is Ahsoka and Luke meet and Luke tell her that he died as Anakin. That's the only thing I wanted. The rest can go fuck itself. And then Book of Boba happens and they're just chilling there. I'm like, wow, go fuck yourself.
All I'm saying is, the question was, is Luke going to show up in Ahsoka? And for me, if it happens, it's going to pay off that how do they meet at the first point, flashback, whatever, because the interview with Filoni said, well, how did it all happen? Well, I can't tell you now, but I can tell you later. And, I love I can't do anything that's right or wrong. But that's why I'm saying if it happens, that's where it's going to happen.
Yeah, I hear you.
He's going to show up to literally hand her his balls, like one ball in each hand.
Because that's where they've been going with Luke. So
the fucking chef droid from Mando's gonna serve up Luke's balls. Sundowners Club for 15 says Luke won't be in Ahsoka. They've replaced him with Ahsoka, and they will rip parts of the Zahn trilogy to make up this new story. I agree completely. I think that's what's gonna happen. So the fact that they had the fucking nutsack to say he wants to be the heir to the Empire. Like, what the fuck were you expecting there? Did you think longtime fans of Timothy Zahn were going to be like, whoa? No, we all went, oh shit. We don't trust you, man. We just don't trust you. And you've not done enough at this point for us to trust fucking anything you're going to do, to be honest with you. That's where my brain's at. Where are you guys at?
I personally, here we go again, but I personally still think that the Ahsoka series can be good, but I don't think
but at what cost?
It's not going to respect all the stuff we've been talking about. It's not going backwards, right? It's not going into the Legends continuity. It can still be good, but the barrier to entry is if we're expecting all this other stuff to happen, then you're already don't watch, right? Yeah. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not going to start that way.
It's gonna be this thing that this is Filoni's dream project. I think that's no secret. But I think that it's gonna be better than season 3 of Mando, of course.
Oh my god, absolutely.
I can't feel convicted in saying it's gonna be a good show because I know it's gonna ruin so much canon. But I know in terms of like if I want to look at it as objectively as freaking possible, I know people are gonna love this show. Like, there's no way they won't.
So the question is who? The answer would probably be normies, right? And once again, those of us who have spent our fucking life savings on this shit are gonna be like, what the fuck?
You dare?
You soiled it! Soiled it! Soiled it!
What the hell is even that?
It just makes me sad because, bro, Lars is seriously, he's a fantastic Thrawn. Like,
yeah.
Damn. I mean, for me, the flip side is, what is the alternative, right? What would they do with this series that wouldn't be like, oh my god, they fucked us, they fucked it all up again? It's, you know what I mean? It's like I don't know what that is.
Take Thrawn out.
Yes.
And then make a Heir to the Empire show.
No, he's talking about this show. Just make it about finding Ezra. That's it. It can be a self-contained story. It doesn't need to fucking involve the world between worlds and stupid ass Ahsoka going to Revenge of the Sith and all this stupid shit that they're leaking. You don't have to do all that. Just keep it focused on finding Ezra.
Crazy part.
But again, you have to keep it in the confines of what we know we're getting. So I'm with you, Nikki. It's like what is the better option? Because there is some perspective that's like it's not good already. So I'm kind of like, so what is the better thing?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Gatekeeper's Daimyo for 2 says, I think Ahsoka will be better than Picard 3. I know he was talking to you, Rissman.
Triggered. Triggered.
Hardcore.
What do you think of Zahn? What do you think of Zahn being like, because when you guys met him last year, he said no, right? That they didn't reach out to him or whatever?
Yeah, so when we met him in Tennessee, basically he was saying like, yeah, they don't really give a shit what my input is.
And they still haven't given a shit, by the way.
Hasn't he been saying he's
because what happened, I was there when fucking Filoni was like, well, you know, on stage he was kind of like, well, we have this idea with Thrawn or whatever, and we oh yeah, of course we kind of talked to Zahn or whatever. They didn't really. This is again, it was a soundbite. It's a false soundbite. They didn't, and then subsequent to that, we've seen Zahn saying, oh, the new books, I focused them around Rebels, and I heard from Filoni for a second, and blah blah blah. Nah, it's not true. That whole thing is just very, very, very small soundbite. Not true.
So this is a tough one, and I believe basically what Ryan's saying right now, that Zahn will say whatever for his 30 pieces. He wants to keep getting paid. I'm kind of wondering if that's what it is, because he's been kind of reborn with his new trilogy with Zahn, and so he's still getting that money, and he's still writing stories for Thrawn, and so to jeopardize that would be a big fucking problem.
I know people call him a sellout and all that stuff, but the fact remains that he is a creator of Thrawn. Like, the EU books exist before whatever garbage he wrote for Disney. Yeah. So to me, that's where my loyalty still lies, regardless if he's a sellout or not, is to that version of Thrawn.
Well, this is the George Lucas debate, right?
Well, I mean,
no, let's not do this.
Oh, we're doing it tonight. Don't worry.
But in regards to the whole Thrawn story and Zahn, he said, well, I got the. Filoni gave me the scripts for what he was doing in Rebels and all that, and I was given the instruction to make sure that this next trilogy was going to be very Rebels focused, and so
I took it down. The second book with Anakin was awful, and I will say this: out of the new 3 Thrawn trilogy he did for Disney, the first one wasn't bad. I kind of like that he tried his best to make the Empire a little more interesting with like the Imperial Academy and all that garbage. And the second one, I was like, oh shit, with Anakin, okay, bro, that crap was cringe. I'm sorry, I love Zahn, but the dialogue, double vision, and all this weird shit, like I couldn't. I'm like, bro, Thrawn and Anakin would have been a cool story, but this was just kind of weird. It was almost like fan fiction-y, but you could tell that he was trying to Disneyfy it. He was trying to make it blend as much as possible with current canon, and that is like the biggest mistake. That's why
and this is where I was going, right? It's like he was trying to, keep his Thrawn things going, and then juxtapose it with what the current canon expects of him, and it apparently it didn't work, right? So okay, so they consulted him on Ahsoka. That's, even if they did, I really don't think they did, right? But even if they did have a few conversations, does it matter? It's not.
He's gonna do what he wants, yeah.
It's gonna be a continuation of the Thrawn that we got in Rebels, whether you like that or not.
Here's a question, because I'm already triggered when I saw Pelion and Ahsoka. Even though he looks good, the person they cast, that's a good-looking Pelion, whatever, that's fine. What about the new version of Pelion, which is Eli Vanto, right? That's like Thrawn's like second hand. Didn't he go off with the freaking chiss and shit? Is he
he's in unknown space. Or, well, wild space, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, he's with the Chiss. He's with the Ascendancy.
Is he going to show up in this show? Like, I imagine at some point, Thrawn's going to call in his other people, right?
If he showed up, the Ascendancy would have to show up, which is like, that's not going to fucking happen.
Well, they did cast the fella from The Expanse as another Thrawn.
Which guy from The Expanse?
Oh, what the fuck is his name?
The guy.
That guy. But he was announced. Someone in the chat knows, the Expanse guy. Oh, I'll find it.
They ain't gonna know this shit.
But there was some Expanse.
I didn't actually watch that show.
I love The Expanse, by the way.
A lot of people said it was good. Yeah, I didn't watch it.
It was good, yeah. The last season was, but it was a really good show.
West Chatham. West Chatham was what has been cast or has been announced as being cast as a main character in Ahsoka. And so, everyone now in the chat's West Chatham. Thank you.
Well, okay, but what character did he play, guys? Because I'm drawing a blank right now.
Well, we don't know what he
No, in The Expanse. In The Expanse.
Oh, The Expanse, he played the big guy. His name was
No, I'm actually a Universal Premier Pass holder.
He played Amos. Amos was his
Oh my gosh, the one character I didn't really like.
Yeah, Amos. Awesome.
Seriously?
Awesome guy.
Real Super Shadow for $1.99 says none of this crap will be on the level of Return of the Jedi. I mean, yeah. Of course. Absolutely.
And so you were talking about,
wow, is it that good? Holy shit. Best card. You need to watch this. You have to watch this. Really?
I have to say, Expanse was so good, and then it got canceled, and then they brought it back and they put it on streaming.
The last season is like so, but
is Katie Sackhoff in it? I'm thinking of
Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, Battlestar.
Expanse, I highly recommend it.
It took me a couple episodes to like really get into it, but once you're into it, you are into it. It's a really good show.
Big time.
I'll check it out.
Yeah. The fuck were we talking about?
The Expanse and the Orville Rickenbacker are overrated.
We were talking about what's his name from Thrawn's backstory?
Eli Vanto.
Yes, and so there's some speculation that West Chatham is playing him.
Really? I feel like he's too built for Eli Vanto. I picture a scrawny.
I know.
Hold on, I gotta Google this.
I hear you.
What's his name?
No way.
What?
Spelled what? Like was. So Chatham was Chatham.
West Chatham. But the rumor said there was an Enoch character that was going to be another one of Thrawn's right hand, and that Wes Chatham would be playing that character.
Bro, this motherfucker looks like a buff Cal Kestis.
Dude,
not Eli Vanto. What the fuck?
He could have played.
He's a monster. He's a monster. Oh wait, King's Advisors is gifting memberships. Why is he doing it?
Oh,
5 memberships gifted.
Damn it, I don't have it. Hold on, I gotta pull up my.
5 memberships gifted by King's Advisors.
What, Damien?
Well done.
You fucking simp.
Well done.
About chat. Hold on. Hold on. What did he say?
You need to open up chat, bro.
All right, I got it. I have it now.
I just told you.
King's Advisors gifted 5. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that so much. Everybody, McLovin, Datboy Steve, Gray Pilgrim, Mech1164, and Mr. Fred say a warm and hearty welcome and thank you from King's Advisors. Drop some X-Wings in the chat. I see Datboy Steve is here. Thank you, brother. Gatekeeper's Daimyo says, you fucking simp. Incredible. Well, we got some new members of the community. You know what that means? It's time to dance a little bit. Appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. Look at all these X-Wings in the chat. Beautiful. I see my boy Tom is up in here. What's up, Tom?
Hey, Tom.
How you doing, buddy?
So got that shit on his shoulder? Is that the guy with the shit on the shoulder?
It's
Zort.
Zort.
Okay.
Yeah,
whatever.
That's
A
Zort.
salacious B-Chrome variant.
Dude, I don't like the idea of this. This is like Tom Hardy, thick ass boy coming in as Eli Vanto.
Yeah,
That
Eli
doesn't make any
Vanto.
sense.
I picture a scrawny dude.
Yeah,
I
he
didn't
was
say
he was the fucking wiry
Yeah,
little.
Well, I don't know what to do, Thrawn. What should I do, Thrawn?
I didn't
That was
say he
Eli
was or
Vanto.
he wasn't. I just said he's cast, and some people are saying he's Eli Vanto or whatever.
I call bullshit on that. That'd be a terrible casting if somebody actually fucking did that.
Well, he is actually cast, so who he's playing, I don't know. But.
Yeah, I don't know. Legendary Tron is in the chat. What's up, my
What's
brother?
up, Thrawn?
Hope that graphics card is just slapping for you right now. Okay, so we're gonna pull up the next one.
Let's do it.
We got some more to talk about tonight. And it's so funny because when I pulled up that video of Robert Meyer Burnett, he's wearing the same shirt that I own from fucking Clown World on Twitter.
Nice.
Which just made me so happy.
Nice.
So let's listen to this in chat. I'm gonna really lean on you guys. I'm gonna lean.
Great.
Oh my god, I'm such an R&B.
I love it. I love it.
I'm an R&B simp.
He's spitting facts. Let's listen to it.
So we're gonna listen to this chat. I'm gonna lean into you guys and listen, and then tell me what you think, because this is the first time I've listened to R&B, and I'm like, I disagree.
He can do no wrong in my eyes.
So let's go.
You could say that, okay, the Lion King, those are animals, those aren't people. Brave. If you look at it, yeah, but it's still female protagonists. That's what Disney wants, because Disney princesses are their stock and trade. That's what they do, and that's fine. So they buy Star Wars. They don't give a fuck. They don't know if you talk about Grand Admiral Thrawn.
I love this guy.
Dark Empire trilogy. They don't know anything about all that. All they know is they bought Star Wars, and you know
George Lucas didn't like that stuff either. You know,
of course, but none of it matters. George Lucas, the last person you should look at to know what Star Wars is about is George Lucas. I know it seems crazy to say that. He doesn't. Star Wars was a disaster. It was all of his collaborators that made it great.
You got to be very careful how you phrase this, Rob. You're gonna get a lot of people.
Fuck George Lucas.
No. Everyone knows this. George Lucas had all these great ideas. What he needed was his wife to edit Star Wars and make it into a great film, along with Richard Chew and Paul Hirsch.
You know what?
Guys, I'm telling you.
No, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just telling you to be. You might,
but because
people
I don't give a fuck.
Here's the thing. Like, I think Lucas is a creative. He's a genius creative type. But when it came to like working with actors,
this dude looks like 98 Degrees.
Those are not his strong suits.
Nick Lachey, whatever the fuck his name is.
I mean, all you have to read Brimslow's book on Empire Strikes Back, arguably the greatest Star Wars film. Lucas hates Empire Strikes Back.
Oh boy.
I love it.
Now that's a take.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
So I'm with Valiantas. There's this massive anti-George Lucas sentiment that seems to be hanging around, and I just don't fucking understand it. Because the bottom line is everybody's like, George Lucas doesn't understand Star Wars. He just doesn't get. I'm not ripping on Robert Meyer Burnett. I'm saying this is like as.
Yeah, you better not.
I'm not. No, I fucking love Robert. What I'm saying is I don't understand the sentiment because where did Star Wars come from?
This guy is a heretic. Look at that. This guy is a heretic.
Kramer. Shout out to Kramer, Night of Melvin.
Yeah.
Check out his channel. Kramer has good stuff. But I can. So the perspective that I can see R&B having a point is that around the time the prequels came along, it was no secret that George was more invested in the technology making the movies. To him, this was like, how can he make it as CGI as possible? I mean, because of him, we have the first CGI character ever, which is Jar Jar. So yeah. I don't doubt that took precedence sometimes over the story he wanted to tell. He went crazy. If he had the volume back then, can you fucking imagine the crazy shit we would have seen in the prequels?
Yeah, and I would have loved every fucking minute of it because I think legitimately, like, where my love for Star Wars comes from is some weird fucking cavity in the back of George Lucas's brain. That's why I love Star Wars, because the movies that he fucking made, that's why I love Star Wars. And you can edit that shit or do whatever you want to try to justify about why George Lucas isn't the fucking right guy for the job and he doesn't understand Star Wars. Like, fuck that. George Lucas is Star Wars. And so this anti-George sentiment fucking drives me nuts. I can get Rissman. I can understand it. You're like, well, he's sold. Fuck him. I can get that. I can get that because
that's not what Robert was saying in that clip, right? Robert was saying, hey, nobody expected Star Wars to be the hit that it was, including George Lucas.
And there's loads of evidence to support that. Fucking Luke and Leia kissed. Leia talked about how she knew her mother. Like, we get it. I understand that.
And so what happened from that point forward was he surrounded himself with folks that could make it successful, ongoing. That's the rest of that.
That's what intelligent people do.
That's the rest of that clip. But to say that George Lucas was omnipotent and said, you know what? Star Wars, I have this plan. It's going to be amazing. And all that's just not the way that it happened.
Show me one fucking video where George Lucas goes, I had a fucking plan the entire time. I knew exactly what I was doing.
You're making my point.
1977 to 2000. I knew exactly what I was doing. Yeah, he's never been that way. He knew shit was fucked up and he did the best he could to make it go along the way. And his best is my best. I fucking adore it. I just do not understand the anti-George Lucas sentiment. So call me a George Lucas loyalist. That's exactly what I am.
But
I am not fucking ashamed of that in the slightest.
How do you translate this conversation into an anti-George Lucas conversation? I don't. That's what I'm missing.
What's your big tagline?
Fuck George Lucas.
I don't know where I got the idea, Matt.
But my tagline has nothing to do with the way he progressed the original trilogy. My tagline about fuck George Lucas is about him selling it to Disney.
Right.
This is a whole different. Let it be known. Robert Burnett conversation is a whole different conversation about the progression of the original trilogy. That's why.
I totally get that. I know that they're two separate things, but it's the overall sentiment, right? So same thing, and like I said, God bless Robert Meyer Burnett. I love the guy, but there's definitely this idea that George Lucas, he's the worst person for Star Wars. I just don't buy into it. I don't know. I'm having a tough time getting into it. I can't. there is this guy who created this beautiful fucking universe, and it all did come from the back of his mind. Now it was realized by some of the most amazing people in the fucking industry. You look at the guys in ILM, you and I both, Rissman, we sing the praises of Doug Chang
100%,
because he gets this thing from somebody else and all of a sudden makes it fucking beautiful.
100%.
But the bottom line is, like, this is me being an absolute radical George Lucas loyalist. You don't talk shit on the creator, man. It's the same for me as Tolkien and everything that goes on with Tolkien. Like, you just don't fucking say anything bad about Tolkien. You don't say anything bad about George. Bottom line, that's my stance.
So do you actually think Tolkien and George Lucas are on the same plane?
To a degree, yeah, absolutely. Their ability to world build, yes. Do I think that their linguistic ability or their intelligence levels are on the same? No, I don't think they are at all. But when it comes to their imagination and their ability to world build, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but I think my point is Tolkien had a huge plan from the outset, right? George Lucas had an idea, right? He had an idea and they tried it, and none of them, including him, thought it was going to work out. And then it did. He was like, oh, fuck. He's like, this actually happened. I don't think we can put them on the same plane, personally.
I think it's also a matter of directing. I think people tend to conflate the two, between directing, writing, and all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's no secret that George is not the best director. Let's just put it that way. There's a reason why Empire is the most beloved one, whether you're Return of the Jedi, whatever is your favorite, the most beloved one, whether OT is
Return of the Jedi is the worst one, though, Nikki.
Right, but when I'm trying to shut up, Matt, what I'm trying to say, I lost my train of thought.
I am the captain now.
My point is, there's a reason why Empire is the most beloved one of the OT, right? George is not exactly the best person executing his ideas. So I can see why. I used to not understand why OT babies didn't like the prequels. Now I kind of do, because it's like you grow up with this badass Vader and then you see Anakin. It's like, what the fuck? What happened to Vader? So I can understand it from that perspective, but I can see what Rob is saying.
I think Sundowners really put it well here. Two different kinds of people. This is apples and oranges. Tolkien was a writer. George was an inventor, innovator. Well, actually, Tolkien was a professor. He wasn't actually a writer. He was a professor. George was an inventor and an innovator. And I think
that's precedence in the prequels.
Yeah, that's probably a better way to put it.
This is why you can't put them on the same playing field.
Why do you think he's walking around the volume? He doesn't give a shit.
Tolkien was a master storyteller. All the rest of it. George Lucas was a great experimenter. And again, I'm not trying to disrespect everything he did for, non-linear editing and all the stuff he did for movies and all the rest of it. But we have to understand that Star Wars, now that we call A New Hope, it was an experiment. It was not, there was no plan for the rest of the story, right? And everyone's like, oh, it's the creator and all that. It's not true.
George Lucas didn't create Star Wars?
Say again?
George Lucas didn't create Star Wars?
What is the argument here?
He did create Star Wars, but he
hold on.
He didn't create a trilogy story. He created Star Wars, and the rest of it kind of happened.
The point that Rob was making, right, is that George Lucas doesn't know as much about Star Wars as other people do. That's the point we're arguing here. Do you think he understands, do you think George understands Star Wars as much as fans do? Or are fans?
Well, what time are you fucking asking that question? Is it now or is it 1983? Okay, so 2000. Okay, so 19. Call it 2002.
Clearly, he did not know, because I highly doubt. I think a lot of people can agree that Anakin should have not started as a fucking child. So it's like he didn't understand necessarily what the fans understood with Star Wars.
Shouldn't have started as a child. What the fuck does that even mean? He should have been born a teenager.
No, you dumbass. I'm talking about when they introduced him in the prequels. You fuck. You know what I'm talking about. I don't want to see some dumbass kid pod racing, even though the scene was great in the theaters, but I don't want to see "Are you an angel?" bullshit coming from Darth Vader. Get the fuck out of here. And it's the truth.
I love it. That's the journey. Right. It's the journey from a child to a fucking demon.
You're missing the point. I'm saying people that were fans at the time, you were a kid at the time. People that were fans of Star Wars because of the OT. You think that's what they wanted? My dad was so triggered. The only reason he ended up liking Phantom Menace was because of Darth Maul fight at the end. But otherwise, he's like, I don't care about Anakin as a baby.
Why? That's fucking Darth Vader.
Exactly. You want to see the most badass villain be a child? I'm trying to put you in their shoes. You want to see the most badass villain you grew up with as a whiny baby?
This is the fucking journey. He's a child. Innocence turned to evil. That's the whole fucking point.
You can portray that without showing him as an annoying 9-year-old. That's the truth. You could show him in flashbacks, talk about his mother, go visit his mother. You don't have to start it off as an annoying child asking people for angels. I like the movie too. My point is I'm putting myself in the shoes of people.
The movie was horrible. The movie is horrible.
We're gonna let him cool off for about 3 seconds, and then we're gonna bring it back in. Okay.
The Phantom Menace is a terrible movie, right?
I disagree, by the way. I'm just trying to show you the perspective of Star Wars fans that grew up with the OT.
This is where I'm at, right? It's like there was Star Wars. It was phenomenal. And then he was like, oh, I got to do some other things. Like, let's do Empire. But, I can't quite do it. So let me bring other folks in that can help. And then Return the Jedi. Okay, well, again, let's just keep going. We got to sell the toys and do these things, and then we back up. And he's like, okay, well, I can do the prequels, and I got a plan now for the 3, and then the first one is just it's like, it's not good.
This is why Toddzilla's a homie. All right, we gotta hit some super chats really quick because we lost a couple here. King's Advisors for $5. This is when we're screaming about George Lucas. Praise the maker. I agree, 100%. Praise the maker. Toddzilla for $5 says Lucas was a genius. He had a vision for Star Wars and invented the technology to make it happen. Hell,
not true. It's not true.
It's not true. Revolution.
Not true.
Revolutionized movie making.
Yes, he did do that.
What the?
But he
fuck
didn't have a
it's not true.
He didn't.
I dare you to walk up to any fucking movie maker and ask them, like, did ILM change anything? And they're like, nah.
He didn't have a vision for Star Wars. He had an idea for one movie that took off.
But
that is correct.
Yeah, James Cameron is a fucking hack. He made Avatar, and he was like, I didn't have a fucking plan for anything.
It only took him 10 years for the fucking part 2, but
it did. Yeah.
James Cameron had more of a plan for the Avatar series than George Lucas did for Star Wars.
And guess who they used? John Kakoza for $5 says, glad we finally met in person. Wish we had more time to talk. I was just slammed. Thanks for stream tonight, helping me get through the drive. Heading back from Vegas, man. It was so nice to actually meet you and slap hands. It's good to see you, brother. Toddzilla for another 2 says, I was 25 when episode 1 came out, and I loved it. Yeah,
Mic drop.
I was a child, and I loved it. And now I'm 31, and I watch it, and I fucking love it. Because it's amazing. Everybody, time to shake your butt.
Let me remind the chat, by the way, we're all Star Wars fans. So,
if I didn't like Star Wars, I wouldn't fucking be here right
I am
now.
mainly saying that on Matt's behalf because people are going to think he's a George hater. Just look behind him, guys.
Episode 1 is not a good movie.
Many fans feel that way.
Keep going. Stop gatekeeping. Oh, who's he talking to? I don't know.
Okay. I'm going to try to hit some more of these chats really quick. I like Nicky's feistiness. Captain Fordo. I mean Blackbird Tech. AA or not says there was Star Wars. It was phenomenal. I don't know what the fuck is that. Knights of Melvin. Rissman needs to read the Plagueis novel. It enhances the Phantom Menace. I agree 100%.
Oh no,
I love the Plagueis novel. That's
not really a Plagueis novel. It's all about Sidious, to be honest.
It really is more of a Sidious novel than a Plagueis novel.
It's like a whole Star Wars Santa thing. That's what Melvin's talking about.
Matt Tween says, I don't like it when mommy and daddy argue.
No, he's like mommy and daddy and other daddy.
I don't like it when mommy and daddy and other daddy argue. Get used to it. This is late night, man. This is what we're going to be doing every single time. I love it.
My other daddy.
You should just change your names right now.
Daddy and other daddy. I love it, man. This is the thing. So this is a lot of to be honest with you guys, this is the thing that people who are not Star Wars fans don't understand. We can love a Star Wars movie, and Star Wars fans will shit on that movie for 5 fucking hours, and then they'll spend $45 to go watch it in IMAX and like love all over it for hours on end. We're a
by the
weird
way,
fan.
Everyone who's in the chat that says I'm not a fucking Star Wars fan,
look behind him.
Can you not see behind me, motherfuckers? Really?
They'll call you a fake fan. You put it there just to try to
fuck your own face. That's all I have to say. All I have to say.
It has to get clipped. Ronnie, do your thing.
Fuck your own face.
I mean, really.
Polly is in the chat. Says Latin X-Wing. Oh. Orale, vato.
Oh, God.
Podzilla for another $2 says, I live in Las Vegas and you didn't say hi. I saw you in Tennessee. That's as much as you need to see me for like 10 years. So hopefully we'll see each other again soon. X-Wing is a fake Avatar fan.
I like the new Avatar better than the first one, by the way.
I'm a strong casual. That's what I would say for Avatar. Like a very strong casual.
Shut up! You're obsessed with Avatar. Like,
yeah, but I'm not.
Shut the fuck up about it when it came out.
But I'm not like reading the books and stuff like that. That's why I call myself a casual.
I didn't even know there was books, to be honest, until like recently.
Bro, there's books. There's like a whole Wikipedia. They have that for like Avatar, and it goes over every plant species and shit like that. I'm like,
sounds riveting.
I don't have enough RAM left in my space after Star Wars to do that. But yeah, anyways.
I believe
How many drinks are you on tonight, X-Wing? I've got a 6-pack down and I'm on
Lord, you guys drink
2 after that.
Wait, X-Wing, can you highlight Cavatino
Cavalryman Che?
Yeah. Truth be told, Rissman is in a female relative's office?
You're in your sister's office. That's what he's saying.
What does that mean?
You're in your sister's office. It's not actually your office. He's saying it's your sister's office.
I don't have a sister.
Maybe a brother who identifies.
No, I don't have any. I don't have
that it's not your stuff. Fucking no.
Okay, fair enough.
So is X-Wing Jay's level of Avatar?
No, Jay is an actual Avatar.
Yeah, he's a real Avatar fan. I'm a faker, but I really like it. Okay.
Darth Scipio's not happy, by the way. He's not happy.
He's never happy. This dude's always triggered about something.
He just said, I see it in the chat.
Where is Scipio?
He said,
oh, there he is.
Yeah.
A mí no me importa.
Smack about George Lucas. No bueno, simpas.
No one's talking smack about him. I love George Lucas. I literally have look at behind me. He's a stormtrooper right freaking there. Shut up.
I'm not talking smack about George Lucas either. I'm just saying there was a progression of events, right? It didn't all start out as a plan. And I'm not. That's all.
You know what? We have a little bit of free time. We got a little bit of free time. Why don't we dive into Phantom Menace? Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Phantom Menace?
You fucking hate the movie.
I hate that.
I think it's incredible. Why do you hate it?
I'm not surprised.
What do you want to say?
What was the story? You got a super chat. You can do
just
the
a
super
question.
Chat.
Just a question. Why do you hate the Phantom? Why do you hate George Lucas? Why do you hate the Phantom?
That's,
Why do
that
you hate
question's
Star
not for
Wars?
me.
Whoa!
Why do you hate? Why do you hate Star Wars? Why do you hate George Lucas? Why do you hate the Phantom Menace?
The Phantom Menace is not a good movie. Why do you love the Phantom Menace?
Multiple reasons. One, we get to see Anakin Skywalker, later known as Darth Vader. I don't know if you knew that, but later on he becomes Darth Vader. You get to see him as a child and his upbringing in Tatooine. We start to understand why he feels the way he does, his motivations. We see him as a slave. We get to kind of understand really why Anakin acts the way he does as a young adult.
Look, Latina Slant is on my page, by the way. It's a terrible movie. It's a terrible movie. The best thing about Phantom Menace is the whole Duel of Fates. That's the only good thing about it.
You didn't tell me why it was a bad movie.
It's horrible. The rest of it is just cringe.
Hey, Kendall. Shout out to Kendall.
Just cringe.
I will say this. I always go back and forth between which movie I dislike more. Is Phantom Menace or Attack of the Clones? I can know. So I don't know. It's rough because obviously
who can speak against Attack of the Clones? Are you fucking kidding me? It's an incredible movie.
I have to agree with X-Wing on this.
I like it, but I'm saying there's a lot more slow
Attack
moments.
of the Clones is probably my favorite prequel, even more than Revenge of the Sith.
But what I'm saying is the worst
movie.
of the three. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I'm like saying in terms of ranking it. Sometimes I switch between, because for me, obviously, Revenge of the Sith is the first one. I like Phantom Menace for the duel and stuff like that. And when I was a kid, I loved the fact that they were kids. I dressed like freaking Padme Amidala with the ridiculous like wig and shit. I liked Phantom Menace, but
I see you.
I hate seeing him as a kid. It just bothers me.
Yeah, so this is an interesting thing about the Phantom Menace. I think that a lot of folks who have a very big, they're like, oh, I love the Phantom Menace or whatever. I kind of think it's situational from when you saw it as your, what age you were. Because for me, I'm kind of like, this thing was terrible. But maybe I was the wrong age to watch it. You understand what I'm saying? When it came out. Maybe it wasn't, maybe I was just not there. I don't know.
Yes, that is.
Yeah, so even Ryan's like,
I've watched Phantom Menace the least. I'll say
that.
Yeah,
I have watched Rogue One a gazillion times more than I've ever watched the Phantom Menace. But I go back to, if I'm going to watch a prequels movie, it's the Attack of the Clones. Attack of the Clones. Attack of the Clones.
It's Revenge of the Sith. Revenge. I fucking love Attack of the Clones. What I don't understand is you saying Phantom Menace is a fucking terrible movie.
It's not a good movie.
I wouldn't go that far.
What is it?
I just don't like Anakin.
Like, what is it? So what is it that bugs you about it? Because that's the one thing you haven't answered yet.
It's poorly cast. It's cringy dialogue. It's very slow. It's like until we get to Duel of the Fates, it's like what the fuck is going on in this movie?
That movie would have been good without Anakin and just talk about
you just
Qui-Gon
want fucking pew pews and lightsabers.
Yeah,
oh my
fuck
God.
you. All right, it's so very slow and pedantic. And then it's like, oh, Qui-Gon and it's not even the fact that I don't like midichlorians.
I don't understand this one. Poorly cast.
It's the way that it was. It's the way that it was all introduced.
Wait, Matt, let's break down what you're saying. Go back. So, who was poorly cast?
I think.
Hold on. I'll give you a live look of fucking Matt Rissman right now.
Shit, I don't even know. Like, I can't even tell you that. Like.
But when I say I think when I say I get young Anakin is poorly cast and all that, I'm getting canceled, right? But I think he was poorly cast.
You know when I started saying that when I saw the audition tapes for the other kid that they wanted to be Anakin. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fine with him, but I think
I thought he was fucking great. I thought he was fucking perfect. Sure, I mean, he's a kid. They're fucking annoying. Yeah, I hate kids, but he did a great job.
He's fine. I just, like I said,
Polly's still in here saying the Phantom Menace sucks.
It does.
Damn it, Polly! You're going down a path I can't follow.
But it's not a good movie. It's not. It's just not.
Liam Neeson and Obi-Wan are like the best casted out of the entire franchise.
Dude, Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon Jinn, I thought Shmi was even fun. A lot of people hate on Shmi. I loved Shmi. I thought she was fucking perfect.
Her dying scene was the only thing that kind of made me cringe.
It's different movie.
But I have to say, this is a great conversation, and the chat has been very forgiving, because when we talk about, generally speaking, when we talk about things that we don't like from the creator, you tend to get canceled. Right, because
nobody's getting fucking canceled. You're gonna be on here next week.
No. What I'm saying is, everyone's like, "Oh no, it has to be great because it was George's thing and blah blah whatever." It's like, that's not, for me. It's not a great movie. Just not.
I just haven't heard a specific reason why. So you said it was slow. There's fucking battles going on left and right. People are jumping off of buildings. There's fucking huge battles.
Here's
on
a better
fields
question.
with shields, like,
a better question is, Matt, what would you have done with the Phantom Menace?
Oh yes, let's go. So start, but I'm getting a drink. I'm getting a drink for this. Oh, this is gonna be good.
This guy just went gay for a second.
You know, it's no Jar Jar. For me, Jar Jar is not good. You know, that whole, and I understand it needed to be, it needed to be funny and all that. It's like, no Jar Jar, right? If you have to be on Tatooine, I understand. I didn't really, no problem with the whole, he was a slave, his mother was a slave, and all that.
Okay, how about this? Would you have started Anakin out at that age?
No, he was too young. For me, he was too young.
Okay. So what age would you have started him as? Would you have started with Attack of the Clones age, Anakin?
I would have, right? I think we should have backed him up, moved him forward. You know what I mean?
Yes.
He should have been older, right? But I know why George did it, right? He wanted to
tell the whole story. Yeah. From beginning to end. I get it.
And he wanted to have the kids that were the same age as him. You know what I mean? Identifying with it. But I'm kind of like, ugh.
I feel like they could have showed his youth in some kind of like flashback, shit like that. Like, he was gonna do the Clone Wars series anyways. You could have used that for that as well.
Yeah.
And especially if you only have 3 movies to tell the whole story he wanted to do. That's why it felt so breakneck for some people in Revenge of the Sith when he turns. So I get that. So it's definitely a tricky situation. Okay, what else? So far, X-Wing, he said no Jar Jar is what he would have done. He would have started Anakin older.
Anakin older. And I have to tell you, earlier today when I was at my buddy's block party, he had, there were kids there that were, 6 to 10 years old that had just seen Super Mario Brothers movie.
Mm-hmm.
And they loved it. Right. And I'm like, well, they can clearly, the kids at that age can understand older people in a movie. So I'm like, I don't understand why we did what we did in the Phantom Menace. For me, it was too juvenile. The whole thing was too juvenile until the end. And then the end was kind of not.
I had a zoomed in poster of Jar Jar in my room when I was a kid.
Oh,
that shit was terrifying, but I love Jar Jar, no shame. That's what he did it for, right? The kids, and it worked for most of us.
No, I'm with you.
And again, that's a good example of George being more of an innovator, because his main focus was the fact that was the first CGI character. So.
Yeah, and it was, but I think there was 2 things. First,
oh my God, I've been muted this entire fucking time. Are you kidding me?
Sorry.
And then the second thing was merchandise.
Mm-hmm. I can't understand how you can willfully go against the fact that we had to see Anakin as a child. That's the whole fucking point, is that you see uncorrupted youth That was the point. So everybody's like, he should have been a teenager first. But how you view the world and the way that Vader acts and the way that older Anakin acts as he's getting to the age when he turns, it's extremely important that you see how he views the world as a child, where he came from, who he is. That was the most important part.
I could argue.
Did we have to see Luke as a child? We didn't have to see Luke as a child, did we?
No, he lived on a fucking farm.
Listen, you could have shown all that shit in flashbacks with Anakin. You could have shown a few flashbacks of him being taken by Qui-Gon, blah, blah, blah. And if, like I was telling Matt, if he was going to do the Clone Wars show anyways, you know? You have to show the time that Anakin is an older adult going through these conflicts in his mind. So when he turns in Revenge of the Sith, before the Clone Wars ever came out, it was way more of a hard sell.
Yeah, so how about instead of a fucking flashback, we got an entire fucking movie about it? Incredible. Give me that. Oh, that's the Phantom Menace.
You're not getting it.
Why is he the best pilot in the galaxy? Oh, that's right. He's got super fast reflexes because he's a fucking pod racer. That's why he's the best pilot in the galaxy.
In the Phantom Menace, we got some bullshit about pod racing, right? We didn't get he was the best anything. He got pimped out for a bet. What the fuck? Right? Are you really telling me that you thought that what we got in the Phantom Menace was great? Because, oh my God, he's so good. He got pimped out for a fucking bet. Really?
You're losing this fight right now.
Horrible. Absolutely
horrible. The problems with the movie are huge.
Dude.
I don't get it. I just don't get how you cannot be psyched out of your fucking mind seeing young Darth Vader absolutely creaming the competition in the Boonta Eve Classic. It's
are you kidding?
Awesome.
Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me?
Stop fighting.
We're not fighting.
I know.
This is what we do.
Déjame hablar. It's part of the act. Let's go.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, keep up the act. Fuck you, man.
Me. That's fine. You're right. Sure.
I'm just saying.
I can see both arguments for it.
Just great. He got pimped out, and he did a great job. And all of a sudden, he won his freedom.
What's the pimping out thing? Let's develop that story a little bit more. Are you so pimped out in a bet, but this is Qui-Gon trying to free him?
Sure, because Qui-Gon couldn't, as a fucking Jedi Master, Qui-Gon couldn't take him away. This is so stupid. He couldn't take him away without having him pimped out in the race? Really? Are you kidding me?
I mean, I suppose he could have stole him or something, I guess.
He's a fucking Jedi Master. He could have taken him and his mother away from the place. Really?
Great movie, Mad. Roll credits. He walks in. He's like, "This kid has force powers." Takes him on a ship.
What you're saying
and then roll credits.
Yeah, sure. Movie magic. It needed to be more. Okay, fine. Okay, good.
What's done is done, right?
Sure.
I think
that's like Lisa no like he's a Phantom Menace.
I'm like this is
what we're gonna do.
Stupid. It was a stupid premise, and it's not a good movie. But okay.
What are we gonna do over here?
We're gonna do a little something right here. We're gonna do a little poll.
Oh shit.
Oh no.
The Phantom Menace.
The chat's already against me.
They're always against you, man.
They're always against you.
I know. Because everyone wants to think that The Phantom Menace is a great movie.
I like to think that George Lucas made a fucking perfect 2 trilogies, and those 6 movies are fucking perfect.
That's gonna have a fucking
I will never say the word FGL in my life because I love the creator, I love Star Wars, and I just don't believe in it. Gosh darn it!
How dare you?
It's hard for me. I just don't, it's hard.
A lot of it has to do with the Star Wars you grew up with too. Like I'm saying, like I can understand now why OT babies don't like the prequels. I get it.
Dat boy Steve.
Your pop's like Adam.
I've already said fuck George Lucas at least once, And again, when I say that, I have to clarify. It doesn't mean I don't love the creator. It just means I hate that he sold it to Disney. By the way, just to be clear.
If you could shake George's hand, would you look him in the eyes and say, fuck George Lucas?
I would. 100%.
You have the clip.
What the fuck are you doing?
Do you have the clip of George in the background of that documentary?
No, I should have that.
Yes, you need that shit on standby.
Christopher Arcella 45 says, I'm on Rissman's side. You are not alone. Oh, hi, Nicky.
Hey, Chris. My arch nemesis.
Man, I just... Scipio says, The Phantom Menace is an okay movie. Not great. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that assessment. I'm just not happy with, it's fucking terrible.
How about this? I think I have a premise. Go ahead. You can read that, and then I have a premise.
All right. Joey Ebbs for $4.99 says, fuck the poll. The ship would have blown both them up if they tried to leave the planet. No Jedi is stopping that, straight up.
I've drank too much to realize what the hell you're talking about.
I know. I don't think it's a booze thing. I'm trying to fuck the poll. The chip would have blown both of them up.
Oh, are you talking about the slavery thing about taking Anakin? Is that what he's talking about? I don't know. Let us know in the chat. In the meantime.
Rewrite that down in chat because boy, I was trying right there.
In the meantime, here's a premise for Phantom Menace that I think both sides could agree with.
By the way, Brandon Lupa is calling me a liar, so fuck him.
He's a liar too, then. So my point is, ready? X-Men, are you paying attention to me?
Listening.
Because I'm the woman. I'm the diversity hire. Okay.
Listen.
The first half of the movie should have been just about getting to know Qui-Gon and his beliefs in the Jedi Order and why he's considered kind of like an, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say great because there's no such thing as great. Right? Make the first half of that, and then the second half him going to pick up Anakin.
He was a true Jedi.
Yes. So we can learn about his value system and why Obi-Wan is also the way he is, and then make the last 45 minutes about picking up young Anakin. Only show us what we need to know. You can have some of the pod racing, but not all that shit. You can just take him from the planet, and then Qui-Gon dies at the end. And we don't need to have like a whole movie with it, just like maybe parts of it. Because I think it's more important to get to know Qui-Gon. Remember when Filoni came out with that thing that everybody was obsessed with, that like Duel of the Fates is about the fact that if Qui-Gon hadn't died, whatever. We would have gotten picked up on that had the movie been more centered around Qui-Gon and like his beliefs and why he was so important specifically for Anakin.
No part of me is going to fucking argue with that on that, because we should have had so much more Qui-Gon Jinn. So much more Qui-Gon Jinn, because he was like the true what the Jedi should be in that Republic era. So yeah, I can't argue with that.
If we would know more about him, and then we could also, because when Anakin turns to the dark side, we don't really think of Qui-Gon in that moment, at least when it happened. Now we do, of course. But when it happened, had we had more information on Qui-Gon and why his influence was so important on Anakin and then him dying, I think we would have thought of that and would have made it more like heavy as to shit.
Well, they've kind of retroactively tried to do that with the Tales of the Jedi. They're starting to bring in those Qui-Gon stories, like
you're too late.
Yeah, kind of. Where's the?
They're trying to fix the fact that the first movie was that episode 1 was so bad. So I'm with you.
Everybody's like, "Yep, we know."
Oh my fucking god! What are you?
Are you denying it?
We love you though. You're not.
Nobody's shaming you.
You're not doing anything cringe. Don't worry.
Trust me, nobody's shaming you. This is not cringy at all. You want to see the cringiest thing in the world?
Hey, actually, can I hold you by the waterfall?
Oh my god, that's pretty cringe.
Pretty cringy, man.
Really, it's not the only one, but it's really cringe.
That's his on one.
Yeah, I think that would have been a really good way. Oh man, I almost just said something I should never say, and I'm not going to say it. Holy cow! I got to be careful, man. All right, so let's round this out. We got one more thing here. Let me present this to the screen. After all this time, we're coming back to this fucking show, Book of Boba Fett.
Oh god.
We didn't even really get a chance to like sit down and talk about the whole celebration thing, but that's fine. At this point, I streamed like 27 hours on Star Wars Celebration. I'm kind of done talking about it.
Yeah, but I was actually there, and you were just being a shill. So
mega shill. Yeah, I couldn't say enough good things about Star Wars Celebration for sure.
Fantastic. So much to celebrate.
So much to celebrate. So many good things. Life Day. Oh wait, no, hold on. Where is it? Tongs Day, right, guys?
Oh my god, go fuck yourself, dude. The fact that I know that reference makes me want to blow my brains out.
Fucking greatest super chat of the night. Tongs Day, right?
Yeah, totally.
Toddzilla for 5 says the irony is Matt is mad at Matt is mad at Lucas for selling Star Wars, but Lucas sold it because people like him hated the prequels. He said it wasn't fun anymore.
I don't buy that bullshit at all.
Nope.
I don't at all.
Also, dance.
What did Nick say?
I need a fucking clip of this, dude. I need the clip of this so bad.
That is so
like,
cringe.
When somebody says something fucking terrible, just like Tongs Day, am I right?
Meanwhile, that fucking Yeti's looking at her like, yeah, bitch, whatever you say. Yeah.
I can't. It hurts. All right, so Tamara Morrison finally kind of came out and started to talk about Book of Boba Fett, and Homeboys was not happy. Tamara's interesting because I feel like this is one of those people who's in Star Wars that's been in Star Wars for a long time and just does not give a fuck about the Hollywood establishment. Like not even a semblance of a shit about what they think.
They called him Boba Fett and he lost the weight. He's like, you know what? Body shaming works.
They're probably right. Oh, I have gained some weight lately. Oh, better go do some fucking crunches.
And he did. And he looks fucking amazing. Like, this guy's just a fucking G unit. And I love him more than you will ever know. So, Tim was in the interview.
He's a treasure, by the way. He and both Ming-Na Wen.
Bro, they just act trash every time they're like on the stage.
Both Star Wars treasures. We have to.
They just act wasted.
Them. We have to.
Yeah, Ming-Na Wen was really fucking bad as a.
Oh no, she's a terrible. I get you. She's a terrible moderator on that panel, but she's a huge treasure from a Star Wars perspective.
She was on a high note that day at Celebration.
Yeah, she was like starstruck.
She's high on something for sure.
No.
I do. I like her a lot. She's a total fucking nerd, and I think she was super nervous, and I think that's why that went the way it did.
Beyond nerves. Yeah.
Okay, so read what he said.
So anyways, Tamara Morrison was at Supernova Comic-Con and basically he was asked like, wow, what do you think of the show? And he goes, well, that Mando guy stole a few chapters of my book. It was painful watching him turn up with some black new lethal sword. And the way he turned up in my book of Boba, he just destroyed everybody. I'm sure this guy is ruining my show, but I couldn't say anything. I'm not the writer, so I have to bear it, I guess.
Oh, the fact that he said, and the way he turned up in my book of Boba, that's heartbreaking right there, bro.
It sucks, dude, because this was supposed to be, this is something that you guys touched on when you were on the Echo Base Network stream, is that I don't think anybody can deny that in Return of the Jedi, Boba Fett died like a bitch, right? He went out like a bitch.
It was meant to be a joke. It was meant to be a comedic relief. Yeah.
A huge bitch.
He went out like a bitch, and there was some love given back, obviously, in the prequel trilogy when they made Jango Fett, and he was the template for the clones. There was, that's a big nod by George to say like, I understand people love Boba Fett, so here you go. And then we get the Book of Boba Fett, and it almost feels like Return of the Jedi all over again. It's like you get fucking cucked. He gets cucked by Mando, and it's like, what the fuck? And even Tamara Morrison put a call in to Jon Favreau and was like, I'm talking too much. I don't like. It's the opposite of fucking Pedro Pascal. He's like, I need to put my helmet on and shut the fuck up. Like, that's what a Mandalorian should be doing. And Pedro's like, I need more lines with my helmet off. Tamara Morrison's like, put the fucking helmet on me and don't say a word. Just start killing people. Yeah. It's amazing how opposite those two phone conversations went. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, can anybody disagree?
I think my tinfoil hat theory is that this Boba show was made like last minute as like a contractual obligation. And this Mando shit had to have been at least some part of this season of Mando. I feel like this was filmed way before or after Book of Boba was. Because
Like,
it was
this
just so out of
should've-
place.
Yeah, this should have been the opener for Mando.
I think they
season 3.
used it for filler or something. I mean, I could be totally wrong. That's why I said tinfoil theory, but it was just so random. And may I fucking side note here? Okay, fucking side note because I'm getting triggered again. All of a sudden, this dude is a retard with a dark saber in season 3. But in this fucking episode, he's slicing and dicing and he's practicing with the stupid armor that obviously knows more lines than what she said this season. But then all of a sudden, we regressed him back to like being a dude. I can't freaking swing this shit.
Yeah,
that makes me so mad.
Yeah, I can't agree enough, right? For me, if I have to rate the live action, Disney Plus Star Wars shows, Book of Boba Fett is at the very bottom of the barrel.
Oh,
Right,
no.
this whole thing was an insult to the fandom for me. Kind of like fucking,
Kenobi was the worst.
she kind of like
Oh,
She-Hulk
girl.
was on the Marvel side, right? Just so very bad. And I know for a lot of folks, just like you, Nikki, that Kenobi was worse. I had to say, for me, Kenobi was better than Book of Boba Fett, just because I feel like they cucked Boba Fett more than anything they did with Kenobi.
I disagree.
How
can you say that when you just admitted he died like a bitch in the OT? If you want to go with your logic, he went out the way he was supposed to in Book of Boba. Obi-Wan was worse.
But they brought him back in the Book of Boba Fett, right?
But he's not as important as Kenobi.
But why even do it? Why even do the Book of Boba Fett? Right? If you have no plan for it, this is my whole thing. It's like, I get why they did Kenobi. I get all of that. The Book of Boba Fett for me now has absolutely no meaning at all.
It's like a tale of two Bobas, because at the end of season 2, he literally just kills this dude in cold blood. He's like this badass in season 2, and then he shows up in Book of Boba. He's freaking like decrepit and old. Ming-Na's like his freaking hospice nurse, and he's just
I don't want to be violent anymore.
Like, I'm sorry, what?
He's a fucking monk now.
All I'm saying is, for me personally, Kenobi had more of an arc in Kenobi than fucking Boba Fett did in Book of Boba Fett. I got angry after watching that series.
Were you a big Boba fan?
Did you see me watch fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Kenobi honestly ruined it more for me than the sequels ever did. Like, the sequels were rough, but you can kind of almost disconnect it a bit just because like Mark Hamill and them were already super old. But Kenobi even still looks like Kenobi, and you have him in his prime, and this is what you fucking do with this guy?
So so Boba Fett cucks a character, right? Boba
Like
Fett
a
was-
bantha, like a bantha.
Yeah,
You know,
Boba Fett was totally cucked.
I can't.
I'm 100% with you.
I agree,
1,000%.
yeah.
Boba Fett cucks a character for sure. Kenobi fucks up Star Wars. No,
Dude, Leia and Kenobi
he
are
was running around
BFFs.
with the little fucking Leia. That's
You're
not weird.
BFFs.
He's in with fucking Inquisitors.
Matt,
running
wait.
around with Leia and a- Are
This
you
closes
fucking
the
kidding me?
argument. This closes the argument. He fights Vader twice. What the fuck? Kiss my ass. That is
What the
Twice?
fuck are you doing?
exactly. Play it again because he's so fucking hot.
What the fuck are you doing?
All I'm saying is, him fighting Vader 1-2 times for me makes more sense than fucking lizard up the nose. I love the Tuskens.
Please put Steve's comment on the screen because I'm about to roast this motherfucker.
All these other things that happened in Book of Boba Fett, it for me, it's more egregious than what they did in Kenobi. That's just
Yeah,
for
hold
me.
on. Let
sorry.
me hold on, because Nikki, hold on. Let me go real quick.
Oof, go for it.
What the fuck are you talking about? The closure happened in a movie called fucking Star Wars.
I'm gonna start crying from laughter right now. I'm holding it in. Kenobi.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Look,
Kenobi
Nick,
ended the same way Revenge of the Sith ended. He did nothing.
Even Nick is disrespecting me in the chat.
Yeah,
even
Matt
Nick.
doesn't know what he is.
Nick. Goodness sakes.
Bro,
That's it. I'm
Kenobi
sorry,
was
wait.
way fucking worse.
You need to highlight A or not's comment because I'm dying right now.
Kenobi was much better than
Rose tacos. That shit is so funny. We need to
That's
start
the
calling
other
Rose
thing
taco.
too, is that so obviously we already had a pre-established story with Kenobi.
Oh,
we
look,
had the
Channel Star Fox. Channel Star Fox is giving you a super chat.
we had the we
You
had
missed a
the
few supers, by the way.
I did?
Yeah,
He always
that
misses
Special
them.
Ray sent something before.
Shit. Oh
Special
shit.
Ray is his
Oh
favorite.
shit. Hold on. Here we go. Oh, I haven't I started.
AKA Short
That just
Bus
means
Ray.
I haven't come back.
Yeah,
Okay,
let's start.
hold on.
Yeah, let's start.
All right, let's go to start. Let's check this really quick. Hold on. I am so sorry, Special Ray. For 10 to Jesus Christ, thank you. For $10 from Special Ray says the Phantom Menace was great, but I still see missed opportunities. Less Jar Jar, more Maul. Emperor using Maul as a surrogate and not even reveal the Emperor at all in episode 1. I think those are all fair points. Although I wouldn't say more Maul. I kind of like him being the Phantom Menace.
At last.
At last we have our revenge. And I didn't know for the longest time that wasn't oh my god. Ray
You got
Park.
this. Oh yeah. Oh, he's done for, by the way. But anyways.
Yeah.
What the fuck was I saying? Oh, Kenobi just ends the same way Revenge of the Sith ends. This whole time he hadn't even talked to Qui-Gon once. That is the biggest bullshit to me. That's so retarded. That show just...
The Vespas. Oh, I know. I love it. The Vespas. Yeah.
So do you guys remember that one scene in Kenobi where he's kneeling and talking to Leia and he's like, I know this about your mother and father. Like that one moment, that feeling should have been 8 episodes long.
He should have been with Luke, period. That is the biggest mistake ever. I don't give a fuck about baby Leia.
There's an argument to be made there that he shouldn't have spent that much time with Luke because when you go, Ben, like, I don't think that should be the story. The story should have been Obi-Wan on Tatooine, remaining vigilant, remaining a Jedi Knight, staying tight, staying squared away, dealing with the emotional trauma of everything that he fucking went through. Like, there was very, very, very small portions where he's like...
X-Wing. Have you read Kenobi, the book?
Yes.
Why the fuck did they not include him trying to meditate to Qui-Gon like they do it at the end of almost every chapter?
That's what I'm saying.
They didn't even try. Oh, you could have given
there-
me the way to make the show better. You could have given me at the end of each episode Kenobi trying to meditate and talk to Force Ghost Qui-Gon. You could have given me that. You could have given me him trying to. I'm gonna get back.
Okay, so I'm 100% on the page. That's where I'm at with you. He should be meditating, and I don't know if you saw the trailer for the Pixel Lady 93 or whoever's doing the Kenobi thing.
Pixel Joker, yeah.
Yeah, Pixel Joker. There's this really cool scene in that trailer where you can see Kenobi with his eyes closed from the scene, and then all of a sudden, like, lava erupts behind him. That should have been a good portion of the show. Is Kenobi trying to find inner peace? Who does Dustin Hoffman play in Kung Fu Panda? Master Sifu. Like, that should have been him trying to meditate and find inner peace, and then all of a sudden lava erupts in the background, and we're seeing scenes of them fighting again on Mustafar, Anakin burning, like all of these different horrible things that he's going through, like the massive amounts of PTSD, everything that Kenobi should be going through.
You could have given us Star Wars music, bro. You could have tricked us into thinking it was good by just giving us Star Wars music.
Where the fuck was John Williams in that?
Bro, the intro to Kenobi was like a Windows 95 opening screen noise. I'm like, what the fuck is this unspecial ass garbage?
I can't say anything.
Let's not forget
bad about
Phil
John.
Organa. Let's not forget about Phil Organa.
So I apparently triggered the panel when I said that I liked.
Yeah,
Kenobi
super dope, Joey. Those 5 seconds were sick.
More than Book of Boba Fett. But I haven't changed my opinion on that. Why do you like Book of Boba Fett more?
What I like it more because it does less damage to the
I agree
overall.
too here, and this is fucking terrible because that was Hayden, but Vader came off horribly in Kenobi. I didn't like Vader in Kenobi.
And the one scene I like between them with the mask off gets ruined for me because it's just a ripoff of Rebels. It's like there's nothing unique about that scene. It's a good scene, but it wasn't like special for them.
They have.
Well, you'll see it again in Ahsoka. Maybe the
I can't fucking wait. You know, third time's a charm, right?
Watch him just green screen a different background. I am not your. Oh God! To get the fuck out of here. The big thing for me, I always say this when we're talking about like what's the umami for Star Wars? What is it that we're missing? It's the emotional connection. That's the one thing that Disney has not fucking figured out to do, other than good special effects. But
they're missing the respect.
So
they're underestimating
that's where that emotional feeling comes from. Is that respect for what's coming
lead by respect, right? So you're saying you felt more emotional.
I didn't feel shit for anything with Boba. I'm saying Kenobi was just worse. It's like you tell me to pick between diarrhea and fucking hard turds. That's like what you're asking me to do right now. And I'm saying Boba was an easier turd to pass than Kenobi was.
This is apples and oranges. Book of Boba Fett should be an action show with an action hero. He should be kicking ass and taking fucking names. That's the bottom line. Boba Fett is fucking Chuck Norris. That's a lot different than Anakin Skywalker, right? So two different tones for two different stories.
How can we forget Reva too? Reva, Obi-Wan.
The craziest part is that when I talk about the Kenobi show, I don't even talk about Reva. I forget that she's fucking there because I'm focusing on the important shit. It should have been Kenobi and Anakin. That's the story that should have been told. Yep. And then they bring in fucking Reva. Who the fuck is Reva? Who is that? I don't know. Well, we played this game called Jedi Fallen Order, and there was a cool character, and we should bring someone into the show that fucking acts like that. Fuck off. You're terrible at your job.
Yeah.
Sorry. I just got really irritated.
Kenobi's horrible, dude. It was the biggest. You bring back Ewan and Hayden for that shit. Like, that's what it was. That's what it boils down to.
That's what you bring him back for?
And then they're going to give us a season 2, probably. Can't wait for that shit. More.
Shit.
Make them fight again. Make them fight 3 more times. Make Bail Organa be Fail Organa until the whole fucking galaxy.
You know what you should do? Give Bail Organa a fucking lightsaber. Why not? He was actually a secret Jedi the whole fucking time. That's why him and Kenobi were friends. Totally makes sense.
So do you have any other topics, or are we done?
Matt is so done. He can't anymore.
I can't.
It's okay. We can send you to bed. We can call this. We've been going for an hour and 45 minutes or 40 minutes. Chat, God bless you guys for putting up with this for about an hour and 40 minutes. We love you guys. I'm glad to have the crew back. It's good to see you guys. I've missed you dearly.
Nice to be back.
This is late night.
Yep.
Gotta love it.
Sure.
All right, kids. Anything you want to say before we get up out of here? Oh, somebody's got a crush on you.
Oh yeah, that boy Steve's got her Nicky.
Someone's got a crush on you.
I don't like shows. Sorry. But yeah, no, I have nothing else to say. Just fuck Disney Star Wars. Matt is like, I'm going to bed. Fuck all of y'all.
Oh, I'm good. Just fuck Disney Star Wars. It's like, whatever. Whatever.
Good night.
Just get ready for work. You see me happy, work. You see me do me dirt. And so we put in work.
Why do we think your technique